right, guys, game week's finally here, so let's see what you guys got.
Does it feel different out there with it being game week?
Yeah, I think so. I think guys were excited. I thought we had good spirited practices last week, but today's a bonus day, and I thought the guys had a lot of great energy, and we were able to get them in and get them out.
We noticed Austin Corbett wasn't out there. What's going on?
I think his wife went into labor, so it seemed like a good excuse.
That happened today, man.
I'm sorry.
Today, or
The labor? Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't understand what you're saying. Yeah, I got a text this morning that she was. So we wish them the best.
Thank you.
Matt, Henry Anderson, what do you see there?
Yeah, Henry's a guy that I have a lot of respect for as a player. We've been looking for someone, to play along with Yetur in that first and second down. Big defensive end for us. We have a lot of speed with Brian Burns is the Marquise Haynes and then Mari Barnos, but someone could fill that role of playing the 6 technique, the 5 technique, the 4-eye. Also then kick down and be a 3 technique in nickel situations. Henry's a guy that's done it in the league for several years. We had a chance to see him when we joint practiced against New England. So, when on the injured list for them, he's someone we immediately targeted.
Is he healthy?
Yeah, he was out there today. So I think, obviously he had something with his hand, but he's cleared by our guys.
the corresponding move with Nixon, it seemed quick for a guy that showed some promise here. What was the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, these things are tough. You have to make tough decisions. Davion's obviously a person we drafted. Had the tough injury last year, coming into this year, but we couldn't go in with that many D linemen. We've been happy with McCall and Hoskins, and so that was the decision that we had to make.
Nothing related to his absence at the end of last week, Davion?
No, that was, as I said at the time, I think family, child related. Yeah, nothing with that.
Coach, most of the hype is going to be around Baker Mayfield. But what's your message to your team this week as you go into week 1?
Yeah, the hype isn't around Baker here. I mean, the hype's around Christian McCaffrey and Shaq Thompson and Dante Jackson and all those guys. Baker's, 1 of 53, but he is our quarterback. We are certainly going to rally around him. And I want Baker to be Baker. I don't want him to be anything else other than what he is. But this is a game of 11 guys executing together, and we want to be connected as a team. So to us, this is about offense, defense, and special teams. This is about a rookie left tackle having to go out and play against one of the premier players in the game. This is about our defense facing 2 of the preeminent running backs in the game. There's a lot of storylines in this one. So right now today was we're really still focused on us. Obviously we're studying Cleveland, but things that we feel like we have to improve to have a chance in the game. So we're excited. I'm excited to see Baker play for the first time, but I'm excited to get Christian back out there and many, many more.
Coach, one of the things you mentioned early in camp and in the preseason was establishing an offensive identity. Going into week 1, do you have a better sense of what that is or will be?
Yeah, I think we have a tremendous offensive identity. I think I said at some point during training camp, though, it has to bear out in the games. It's one thing to look one way in practice and kind of feel good about, hey, this is who we're going to be. But you are what you put on tape. And so this game will be a great first step for us to establishing that identity. I think we have a lot of guys on our offense that can make plays, that can get open, that can catch the football, that can run with the football. I like our offensive line and tight ends. I think they block and they're selfless, and I like what Baker has done. So I think we kind of know who we are and how we want to play. With all that being said, we have to go out and do it in games. And, we started the morning off watching App State, UNC, and watching the LSU Florida State game last night. You can work all year, and it can come down to 1 or 2 plays. And so our guys get that, and we have to go out and make those plays in the game.
Do you talk with Baker? Be like, listen, I need you to be you, but at the same time, don't be an idiot at any particular moment. Don't let the emotions get the best of you.
I've seen nothing that tells me that I haven't seen anything that says, hey, I'm going to let my emotions get the best of me. He's locked in and in the moment. I think everybody that's here understands the standards for how we want to be. At the end of the day, it's never about you. It's never about me. It's always about us. It's always about the team. It's always about winning. Winning comes first. So, whether that's a guy in training camp reaching the ball across the goal line and me calling everybody up, or whether that's a guy being late, it's always about the team. It's always about winning. So Baker, to me, embodies that. he comes at things his own way. He's a very competitive guy, very fiery guy. But I mean, he's so the stories you hear and the stories I certainly heard are not what I see. I mean, he's a true professional, and that's what everyone that I talked to about him said about him. So I think he's a great teammate, a great leader. I think our guys are going to rally around him, not just this game, but every game.
Matt, how do you sort of separate the stories you hear from this is what I've seen with my own two eyes?
I don't pay attention to things I hear. I judge everybody for what I see. Sometimes in life, as we all know, sometimes we are one way, and then as time comes, we mature. Things change us. I'm not saying he's matured because I haven't seen anything say he's not matured. I think he's a heck of a guy and a heck of a quarterback, and I think every guy in this organization, certainly every player in that locker room, believes in him. So the way he handled this entire training camp and preseason battle, I thought was selfless and fantastic. He pours into younger players. He's an excellent teammate, and he's a great competitor.
You're kind of throwing Icky into the fire Sunday. Do you anticipate you'll help him much, or leave him out there on an island?
Yeah, we'll they have a great pass rush. They have great ends. So we like every team will try to do some things to help them, but you can't do that all game. And you certainly when they have different defensive structures, you can't do that. So we understand that. I want Icky to go out and compete and play. He's had a chance to play in a couple preseason games. He's going to go play. Things are going to happen good. Things are going to happen, that he has to learn from. But the key is for him just to keep getting better and better as the game goes on, and certainly as the season goes on. So, but we certainly understand, the great player that Myles Garrett is, the great player that Jadeveon Clowney is. I mean, they're true difference makers, and our guys will have to react. But I got a lot of confidence in Icky too. He's here for a reason, and he's got to go play.
How has his pass protection, has it gotten better, as you've seen through the preseason and training camp?
Yeah, I think he's made a lot of strides. I think going against Brian every day in practice certainly helps, and Marquise. So he's just got to get out there and get game reps. Obviously he had a chance to play a little bit in that last game against the Bills, and against a good player like Shaq Lawson. So all those reps help you along the way. But like I said earlier, nothing like game reps. When it starts to count, that's when that's when you have to play with extreme confidence and trust yourself.
Matt, the pitfalls of week one, you guys haven't shown much of what you're going to do in the preseason. Cleveland hasn't shown much of what they're going to do in the preseason. So where does the chess match and where do the pitfalls lie as you prepare for an opponent? Their personnel's changed, yours has changed. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns, obviously.
Yeah, I think always in the first game, and certainly, Coach Stefanski, Joe Woods, those guys, they certainly have an identity and things that they believe in. You have to get into the game and you have to assess what's happening and adjust pretty quickly. There might be a pressure of the day. There might be some different things that you're not quite prepared for. That's kind of one of the reasons why, as Ben has built this offense, the quarterback, we give a lot to the quarterback so he can adjust. We're not waiting until halftime or in between series to adjust. We put a lot of things in the quarterback's hands to adjust. But yeah, it's certainly a big part of the first game is recognizing, hey, this is who this team is now or how they're playing us now, and adapting. I think our guys on defense have to do the same thing.
Matt, you talked about potentially tweaking Christian's practice routine. In terms of his game touches and his usage, how much, if anything, did you guys take away from those first two games last year where he was very active prior to the short week at Houston?
I don't think we've gone back and studied everybody from Marshall Faulk to Emmitt Smith and all those things, and I think in fact at one point I think when referring to it, someone mentioned like, hey, a smarter way. I don't think anything we've done isn't smart. He's a tailback in the National Football League, right? He had a ton of usage the 2 years before I got here. The propensity after that much usage of being injured is really, really high. The benefit is he's had 2 years now to kind of reclaim his body. He's in the best shape of his life. I think I've said kind of on record a couple times we're going to play him. I mean, he's a great player. We're going to play him. We also have other backs that we like, and so that as the roster's developed, hopefully some of the load can be dispersed because we want it to be dispersed. But we're going to play Christian because we think he can impact the game. And if he gets banged up at some point, we're just going to work on getting him back. We're not going to spend too much time worried about, hey, let's not get him hurt. To me, that's equivalent to him not being on the field. with all that said, we are going to do some different things practice-wise with him. We have during training camp. We never really had him go 3 days in a row of high velocity. And at the end of the day, when you look at the GPS reports, even going 2 out of every 3 days, he still leads the backs. From his warm-up routine to sprinting 60 yards after every play. It's kind of a war to try to get him to not do that sometimes, like blowing the whistle 5 times. But that's what makes him special. That's what makes him who he is. So I think we'll get in that first game, and we're going to kind of play it by ear in terms of, we'll have a great rotation. We'll try to get those other guys in, but he's a difference maker, and we need him to go make a difference to win the game.
You went in the offseason talking about how you need to get that quarterback position settled. How important along those lines is this first game, or is it going to be a process of taking a while?
In terms of settling in the quarterback, well, I think we know that. I think we all feel really good in this building that Baker's our quarterback. And PJ's backing him up right now, and Sam's on his way back from getting healthy. But Baker's the guy, and I think you see every day you see him playing a little bit faster. I fast forward to a month from now and seeing him play like lightning fast. But we play this Sunday, so. We're gonna give him all that we can give him. The great thing about him is he's such a part of it. He's so communicative with me and with Ben, and situationally, he's really a sharp guy. So, didn't have him in OTAs. He started late. He's done a great job of catching up, and we're just gonna go play this game on Sunday. And we're gonna trust him. We're gonna put it in his hands, let him go win the game, and come out after the game, win, lose, or draw, and we're going to sit there and make improvements. Because one thing I know about Baker, he's going to improve as the year goes on. He is a competitor, and his best football is ahead of him.
There's a lot of hype, obviously, with it being week 1, of course, and then Baker and the Browns. I mean, how excited are you just to see the fans show up and the excitement that will be in the building?
Yeah, I'm fired up to be here. I mean, I thought that when you look at our fans, I thought, we played 2 road preseason games. And I remember one of the road preseason games, I don't want to embarrass the other team. I remember saying to our guys before the game, like the guys I was walking up, I was like, we had more people at FanFest. I thought the turnout we had at FanFest, and then the turnout, like it was a deluge the last game, and the amount of people that were there. So I hope people are excited about this team. This is I think we're still the 5th youngest team in the NFL, but there's some names you're kind of growing. Some of these people are we're growing up with now, right? The Jeremy Chins, the Dante Jacksons, the Brian Burns, the J.C. Horns. These guys are kind of reaching that year 4, year 5, year 6, sometimes just year 3. They're kind of doing it together, and it's a cool cohort to watch. And so I'm excited to see them play. I'm excited to see them play at home. It's been a long time since we played great football at home. It goes all the way back to the Saints game last year, and so we've made a certified emphasis on our team of eliminating all the distractions and showing up and playing our best football. Because I want to win, but I also want us to be fun to watch, and I also want us to play with passion and energy. And so I want Burns to go be Spidey Burns or whatever the heck his nickname is. I want D-Jack to be D-Jack. I want them to be themselves, but I also want us to play great as a team. And so I'm excited to see them play. They've worked really hard this training camp, and I've been waiting for this moment.
Matt, you just kind of casually mentioned JC among the veteran guys. Do you have to kind of remind yourself sometimes that he's only been here a year, has played a limited amount?
He's only played 3 games, but he's got the mindset of a winner. Obviously he was. The guy's got a mindset of a winner. That's all I can say. This job really, you're kind of always you're always in a war for people's focus. So many things pulls our focus away. J.C. Horn is focused on being great at football, and that's a great person to have in your locker room. So. But we don't have a bad guy in the locker room. We have a great locker room full of guys. But I just think that young group coming up, the J.C. Horns, the Derek Browns, the Brian Burns, the Jeremy Chins. I think, the Dante Jackson. That's a fun group to watch on defense. You mix in some great veterans, the Ionidases, the Xavier Woods, and then on offense, obviously, you have the DJs, the Christians. Those guys have been here for a couple of years. I think it's our turn to really play, not just great defense, but play great offense as well.